pop in, say hi. If you've never come into one of my lives before, hi, I'm Cindy. I explore the inside and the outside. Oh my goodness. And you guys know, oh my goodness, I'm feeling it everywheres, right? And then I look at my life and I'm thinking, well, nothing really crazy is going on in my life. But sometimes it's in those little things, right? And it's when the little things, they keep tagging on, tagging on, tagging on. We talk about the snowballs sometimes when the snowball comes down the hill and it starts off like this, but as it's coming down and picking up the snow, it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger, right? This is kind of like trauma. I kind of look at it like this, right? Because in complex trauma, that comes from, I don't know where I'm going with this. Just give me a minute. Let it flow for a few minutes as people are coming in. Hi, if you do come in, and I am in that flow. But in complex trauma, it is in those little things that add up, just small things that somebody can just brush off as, oh my goodness, you're just being paranoid, or oh my goodness, you're not moving fast enough. Those are just slight ones. There are a lot worse ones and small ones. But when you live a life and these things are directed all the time, we start to do it to ourselves. We don't even need people to talk to us that way because we talk to ourselves and treat ourselves that way, right? And, in these lessons that I get along the way, I think, oh my goodness, is that less or worse or just different from trauma? Because trauma is something like what my husband went through, right? He had the complex trauma too, but he went through the trauma because he was with the peacekeepers and he was doing tours in Croatia, and his job was to, this is Sunday, it's you're supposed to be happy, but his job was to dig up the people who had passed away that were polluting the water system, because in the war in Croatia, that's what happened. Families were just burying their loved ones wherever they could, right? And, those are hard traumas and those change you instantly. Now, with me, with all those changes that were added onto my life, they just kind of accumulate and it feels like change, right? Trauma. Now remember, trauma is change, but trauma is instant, freak you out. One reality, one moment, a different reality, the next moment. And right, it is instantly scary. You can imagine if it brings a grown man down, how severe that is. Children, it wasn't common in my generation, but unfortunately in my family, I come from a dynamic family with all different characters, right? I'm calling them characters because they were all playing the roles they were set out to do, and they were all playing the roles that they wanted for themselves and wanted for their life, right? And each one of us in my family, in the girls, we were all designated, right? My sister, the executive sales manager, and she was the one of the very best in Canada in her field, might have been even North America. Then my sister Alice, right? The entrepreneur who could put a roof over her head no matter what happened to the world. Then my sister Carolyn, who sits at her kitchen table, right? And you ask her any question and she'll have that answer for you. She's pretty amazing at doing that. But sometimes when you go, wait, hold on a minute, I want to write that down. What did you say again? And then she just goes, I don't know. Right? So you got to catch that wisdom when it happens with her, right? But it's, oh, so smart, that woman, right? I don't know where it comes from, right? But yeah, all my sisters have those special qualities about them. For myself, maybe it was my strength, maybe it was my resilience, I do believe I've come back from one lifetime to a next, and I think I've come in with these same characters, right? Oh, I don't know where this is going. This is kind of different. Hello, Andrew. Hello, Owen. Hello, Owen. So awesome that you're here. I should trail off, and maybe me just paying attention into the comments, it grounds me because it has. I wanted to go somewheres in that, that sometimes we grow out of things because it's those little things that keep adding on, adding on, adding on, like when they're going down the hill, right? Like that snowball just building up. But it makes you wonder, right? When it comes to trauma, right? Is complex trauma more devastating, more impactful in our lives, or is that the instant trauma? And I do believe that, right, there are people who hang out with me who would have that answer for me. So anytime you wanted to shoot me an email, I know some of you guys have got my emails. And if you had the insight, I would sure would like to know, right? Because, in the lessons that I take, it's to help people overcome these things, atrocities in the world that, right, we didn't ask for it to pop into our lives, but there it is, right? So I'd like to learn a little bit so I could maybe forgive a little bit, that I could understand a little bit, because even though I understand one perspective, right, I don't understand the instant. Though, if you call the way I reacted when my marriage fell apart, right? That was traumatic in my life, right? It was traumatic in my life. But I had already gone through lots already. And so I had built up that resilience. So, did I handle it a little bit better? Did I handle it differently than if it was the only thing that ever happened to me? Or did I grow into it? Right? Did I slowly bring those changes into my life that has brought me to this point at where I'm at? Okay, I think I am done with that. I don't know who that's for, but I had no idea that that was coming out. But I am feeling it out there, right? That things are moving super fast. Number one, oh my goodness, did December for you guys? I don't know about for you guys, but December felt like a blink. It felt like it was just coming, and then it was gone, right? And somehow I managed to get through it. Somehow I got a little socializing and some connection and some of those feel good feelings out of that, right? I don't know about you guys. What do you guys think about that? Just seems like things have been moving so fast. My 1 year anniversary coming up, right? New Year's Eve was my first video upload, and I really want to celebrate on YouTube, and I am celebrating, but what that looks like in this moment, I am absolutely dumbfounded. I have no idea, you guys, honestly. If you have any suggestions in that, throw it in the comments and let me know, because I am open to how you guys would like to celebrate my 10-year anniversary. I went into my hard drive, you guys. Oh my goodness. I have from my camera and YouTube, and I'm a little hyper vigilant, and I like to keep my things safe. And in keeping things safe, I put all my videos going back to when I first started in 2014. I put it on a hard drive, and I can't open up the files. I think I've corrupted the hard drive. And I'm thinking, well, the only option I have is to go into my YouTube and download some of those exploration videos that I had. And then maybe I could just turn off the sound, or if I had a good insight or something interesting in my explores that, right, I could just make little clips and kind of join things together and make a good hour or an hour and a half. Oh, I got a lot of footage. I probably could. But you guys, it's Sunday. And my boss has called me into work while I offered to come into work tomorrow. She was going to work though. She was going to work the whole day. She was going to come in the morning and she was going to close the store at night, right? We lost another member. We got one back. We're getting one back who's been away for a long time. I'm getting her back this week, and then another one's gone for a few months. So, but that's what you do. You ride those waves, and I'm willing to pull my share in that, right? And I do need to ground in something. And I work with what comes across my path. And it is my nature to help out where I can, right? And I saw that opportunity, and I'm working towards a car. I can use the few extra hours. I offered to come in. I felt bad, right? It shouldn't all be on her shoulders, right? The managers, I'm talking shoulders, right? That there should be a little bit of support for her, because not only, right, are we struggling at work, kind of struggling in our personal lives too. I'm struggling with my brand right now, you guys. Let me just come down here. Say hi when you come in. Hello, you guys. Yeah, so yeah, with my brand, like I said, I want to Wednesday come in and be able to spend some time with the people who have been following my content for 10 years, who've been hanging out with me as I've been bumbling along, like a lot of people, like a lot of human souls do, bumbling along the best that they can, right? Doing the best that they can and picking up people along the way, which is, right? Here's Owen, here's Andrew. And thank you so much for coming to hanging out with me tonight, right? But like I said, I'm feeling it out there. I'm not even in the news. I haven't even watched any news at all in probably at least 2 weeks. And then in that 2 weeks, it might have been, right, to see what Trump did if he won. Right? I have no idea what's going on in the world. I'm so involved in saving my brand, working extra hours, hanging out with my family, hanging out with my friends, doing projects around the house. That busy, 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 that makes me feel like I'm too busy, like I'm taking the whip to myself, and I don't want to be that person that is, right? It's the holidays. And so 2 days ago I decided I'm just gonna ride these waves, right? I feel them, but all I can do is the best by myself, right? Show up the best that I can, making myself that priority 100%, right? And just keep moving the best that I can. I have no idea what I'm going to do on Wednesday, you guys. Make sure, will you hang out with me on Wednesday night? Come in and hang out. If you see me, it'll probably, I can't even say for sure what it's going to be. If it's going to be a premiere, if I'm going to go live, if I'm actually going to be able to get a video together. Maybe it'll even be a podcast. If you see me do a podcast, you guys, even, right? Come in and say hi and keep me company, right? It's a big one for me. It's put me in a very contemplative mood. It's put me in the hurry scurry, put me in that little bit of stress of, oh my God, we got to get working on this. And I went into my content yesterday. Well, first I went into the hard drive and discovered what happened to my hard drive and played with that a while, right? We don't want to call it quits on the hard drive, because that's where all my content is. I don't want to call it quits on the hard drive until I know for sure that there's nothing I can do, and then it's spilt milk, right? And I don't worry about it after spilt milk. Then in my mind I thought, right, I can download some of my videos from YouTube, and I'll be able to make videos out of that. And that just might be what I do. But I think I'm going to try another way because of my hypervigilance and wanting to make sure I safely store all my videos. I kept all the memory cards and I kept all the memory sticks of my videos. And I know for sure that some of those are corrupted, but not all of them. So I might have something from going way back, right? I'm hoping, but I won't even be able to work on it till maybe tomorrow night when I get home from work. I can do a little bit. Maybe I can download. I downloaded some pictures because I know I can just leave a picture there and then I can just do a voice over the pictures. So I put a lot of pictures because you guys know I like my landscape. So I put a lot of, thank you, Owen. Thank you, dear. Yeah, so I hope you could join me. But if you can't, if you got other plans, you're going out. I decided it won't be New Year's Eve, just in case you want to go off and celebrate. It'll be New Year's Day when you're all hungover or you're all pooped out from the holidays and you say, that's it, no more. Well, we're not celebrating the holidays. We're celebrating my 10-year anniversary. So, oh, and yeah, I would love it if you watch for me. Now, I should commit right now while I have you guys here to a time when this will happen. So I'm going to say, how about our usual time, 7:30 Central, right? 7:30 Central. If that works for you guys, our regular time, like our Sunday night show. And I will be on time. Let it be the challenge, you guys. That's going to be a challenge. I'm going to challenge myself. I know if I commit. How about if I commit to be on the dot? And if I'm not on the dot, I don't know. I'll let you guys figure out the punishment in that. Maybe there's no punishment. Maybe it's just a reminder and calling me on it because mistakes are okay, you guys, right? I got two different kinds of fluids. I just came home. I made myself a cup of coffee and I put the lid on it. I put the lid on it because I'm having fluids, right? The weekend, I worked really hard this weekend. We're a little short staffed, just a little bit short staffed and and yeah, and I wanted to be nice for my manager. She's working hard, she's going through her own stuff. I want her to come in and feel good about what we got done. I think we got done lots, but I think we might have overstuffed. We might have overstuffed stuff. Right? Yeah, I didn't catch it until the end. And yeah, it's pretty tight. But hopefully she won't mind. She'll be just happy that she doesn't have to do clothes tomorrow because it's all done. We got enough clothes hung up to last the whole week. And the bedding and the linen. And I cleaned up the Christmas and I took down all the decorations out of the store and I put them in a box and I put all the Christmas that was lying in all the different sections because you spread it around at Christmas. I went around and I collected it and I put it in its little corner. So the Christmas is just in one section. And then, of course, I have my Christmas ornament tree that I haven't taken down yet. I thought, well, maybe we can sell it tomorrow. I kept offering. Probably has 50 Christmas ornaments on it. Nice ones, too. And it's about 7 feet tall, this tree and everything. We were using it to say, and I had a little sign saying 50 cents, all the Christmas ornaments. And that way they wouldn't get broken if I had them in a container. So I just hung them on the tree and I just put a sign on the tree saying 50 cents each. We sold tons of them, but we got tons in. And there's still a lot of nice ones on the tree. So I want to make sure that that we keep the nice ones, get rid of any junky ones. We'll put them in a box. We'll take the tree apart. I'll put it, and it'll be our display tree for next year, and we'll just put it away. I didn't do it. I thought maybe we can sell it. I tried to sell it today. It was a nice tree. Trees are expensive. You can't get a fake tree, and especially a good one, for under $100, and it had all the ornaments on it. Oh, beautiful, beautiful, all kinds of ornaments. And if you didn't even use them all, you could have redonated them, right? And yeah, I was trying to sell it for $10. Ornaments, tree, stand, everything. I couldn't even do that today. Everybody's so done with Christmas, right? No offense to Christmas, but when Christmas is done, Christmas is done. It's all turkey belly and diets and not. I'm not dieting. Well, kinda. I got this drink. It's a fruit drink, fruit juice, and it's absolutely delicious. It's cranberry mango, and it's made by, can't remember who makes it, but wow, is it ever delicious? But the thing about it, there's only 10 calories, and I thought it can't be that thick, right? It feels like a juice with pectin, and it can't be that sweet with only 10 calories for a big glass of cranberry juice like that. And so I went and read the ingredients on the side of the container, and they're calling it fruit beverage. So fruit beverage doesn't mean fruit juice. It doesn't. Even though the main ingredients were fruit juice, there's real fruit juice in there. There's probably something like a mango cranberry powder or something that goes in there with sweetener in it, because it's too much like fruit juice to only have 10 calories in it. I didn't see if there was saccharin. I might have noticed if it was, but I didn't go. Once it gets to the chemical part of it, I'm not interested in what's in it. You know, all those fancy words that you can't even pronounce on the food labels. Hello, Melvin. Oh, super awesome. Thank you, Andrew. Oh, that'll be nice. Maybe Melvin. I was going to say it's my 10-year anniversary, Melvin, on New Year's. My first upload was 10 years ago, and I'm trying to put a video together, but I am, and I'm not even bluffing at this. It's not being lazy, maybe a little bit exhausted, but that's rest. And there's a difference between needing rest and being lazy. And I'm still getting stuff done, but I'm looking at my house right now and going, oh, I got so much stuff to do. Right. And you could just say, well, that's the housework that could last. Right. But these are things that, again, when the little things add up, they make a big thing. That's why it's so important, right? And that's a new lesson for me, to get the little things off the plate, right? Do what you can. Just start moving, right? And get the things doing. And then next thing you know, you freed up all that time and you feel so good. It improves your mood because you got all that done. That one big thing that you were procrastinating on, right? Doing all those little things, you can now do because you got so much off of your plate. It just frees you up, right? So that's my hope for myself on my set of days off. But I only have 2 days off, and I've got to fit. It's my 10-year anniversary. It just can't be a poo-poo video if I do a video. So I'm going to give it a good shot on Monday. I'll spend all day. Oh, not Monday, Tuesday. I got to work Monday. So I'll work on it all day Tuesday. And if I don't get it done Tuesday, then we'll go live no matter what. We'll go, and I'll during the course of the day, because Wednesday's my day off, right? So I'll have all morning and all afternoon to come up with something. You know I will, right? And no matter what, I'll be here, right? Yeah, I'm moving forward no matter what. If I can't get those big things done, I'm going to get all those little things done that will make me feel better, in the hopes that now I have that energy, I have that confidence, and I have that readiness, right? to tackle the big things. I've got some big things to tackle, and I am procrastinating on them, right? Because they're things that, well, that maybe don't make the best friends in the end, right? But it will be so helpful for so many to have, right? Some relief from sometimes, right? Ah, it's the same old problem with me, like I always do in dancing around the subjects, right? But I think you guys are getting pretty good at reading between the lines these days. Yeah, I know you guys have for sure. Okay, Nancy's here too. Nancy for sure. Nancy for sure. Yeah, she's a smart cookie, right? She knew what was going on with me long before I ever did. Yeah. Long before I ever did. Yeah, I was crashing on my channel like 3 years into starting my channel. But we'll talk about that on Wednesday. I was telling the guys, Nancy, that on Wednesday night, 7:30 Central, I'm coming in for my 10-year anniversary for a little while. I'm trying to put a video together. I'm looking for content. I don't have much time. I'm going to do the best that I can. But no matter what, I will be here, or I'll have a video ready to go at 7:30 Central, right? So if you'll keep an eye out and hang out with us in that, it'll be interesting, right? Because I'll be telling the story of YouTube. 10 years, you guys. But we'll talk about that on Sunday. I scored good today at work. It's not a show and tell, but I just wanted to show you a couple of things. Um, I only buy stretchy bracelets and earrings at work because I like to match my earrings with my clothes, right? And that's not the excuse. I like earrings too, right? And in fact, I pierced my own earrings, my own ears with potatoes and ice cubes. I remember I must have been 15 or 16 years old, and I pierced my own ears with potatoes and ice cubes. And it wasn't bad. It was a little warm. But it worked, and they never ever got infected. And I got the holes in the right spots, and yeah, I didn't make big holes or anything. They're just nice little holes, and they never ever bothered me, right? Unless you put in dirty earrings or something, right? You get an infection. But I don't get those, right? I probably have for sure, and then you go, oh, that my ear hurts, and then it's just uncomfortable because the rust on the hook, right? Hello, Hannah. Welcome, welcome. You haven't been missing too many of the lives, have you, dear? Thank you for popping in. Yeah, I was saying I scored a little bit at work. I have this gentleman. He's a watchmaker. A watchmaker, I guess you could. He doesn't necessarily make watches. He could if he wanted to. He does switch out parts and stuff. But he's a collector of fine watches. But he buys up all the watches. He goes around to the secondhand stores during the week and he buys watches and he fixes them. And then he comes into our store on Saturday and he donates them. This week, he brought me a bag this full of watches. He always lets me have first dibs before he donates them. He lets me look in the bag, see if I want. I usually don't because I do stretchy bracelets and earrings. I don't do watches. But I was wearing khaki green yesterday, and I saw this watch, which is green, right? And it's a really actually quite a nice green, but it doesn't look green in the picture. And it went really well with my outfit. So I picked this watch yesterday, but he really wanted me to have this watch. I don't know if you guys, I don't know how to program it though. you guys. I have no idea. And the time is correct. It's got the correct time on it too. But you can see the brand. Does anybody know what that brand is? I'm sure Melvin knows what that brand is, what this item is. This is a GPS watch for when I go on the trails, for when I get lost out on the highways and stuff. That I actually, all I have to do is look at my watch and it'll have a map and stuff. But I need somebody that will program it for me so I could get the map on it. Not like my eyes are good enough for that little screen, but it would be good enough to at least tell me how far away I am from my destinations and stuff. And I'm sure it's already got the Canadian road map at the very least on it, if not in the entire road map for North America. Because when you buy these products, especially the Garmins, you really get a good program, right? With their GPS is there for when you go out to the bush and you go out to isolated or rural areas, that you don't get lost, right? Now, lots of people just use Google Maps because it's very easy with Google Maps. But to be able to go for a walk and just let yourself get lost, this is what I like to do, right? When I go to the woods and I go onto the trails and stuff. Yeah, you can stay on the trails, but if you could really see how my brain is working, I'm going, oh, deer trail, and I wanna shoot down that, but I'm not silly. I'm not gonna put myself in an uncomfortable or dangerous situation, right? I'm just gonna back up. I got a new light, you guys. Oh, it's so bright you can't see it. It's right in between my Buddha. It's too bright, but it's so nice. Oh, it's too bad. Yeah, this whole wall, I just want to put in soft, soft lights like the Himalayan salt lights. I have this light over here that consisting, if you look at it, sometimes it's pink and then it goes to blue and green and yellow and right? And it's such a pretty lamp. And when I go to bed at night, it just stays on because it's all USB, right? And it's not like it's going to catch on fire or anything because there's no heat related in it, right? And it just gives a beautiful. And if I have to get up in the middle of the night, I don't have to turn on lights and and the lights are like 100 watt. You don't want them um taking out your eyesight, right? But yeah, I'm going to watch a YouTube video, right? Anything you want to do, right? What a message that clearly comes to me that ignorance is no excuse going forward. Ignorance is not going to be an excuse because we live in this age where the answers to everything is out there. If you were contemplating doing something, you should always Google it or watch a YouTube video or get the information from the horse's mouth, right? Not from outside sources, not from hearsay, right? This is why, I don't know, I've been studying discernment the past couple of weeks. I find it a super interesting topic because it's something, I call it hypervigilance. But in the world out there, they call it discernment. They call it taking your time, right? Thinking things through, right? And I was grumbling because I was taking it in a different perspective, but now in really thinking about it, right? Because my mother used to say, think before you open your mouth, right? And she'd say it like that too, with lots of right? And then to think about that, and I go, oh, discernment, right? So it wasn't not to say things or call things out, but be prepared. Kind of like the dominoes, to read it forward a little bit and see how those dominoes are going to fall, right? Whether you're going to be able to go through the whole thing and it's just perfect, or you're going to go like 2 feet and then everything's just going to crash to the ground, right? Discernment is taking your time and just kind of looking at things, being a spectator, being a student, listening to the conversation, listening to what people are saying, right? And there is nothing wrong. We live in a world that we have to have discernment in our life, right? Came about with me a little bit differently, right? Came to me through hypervigilance and looking out for my own safety, right? Being hesitant, procrastinating, but that's where the procrastination lies, you guys. With me, 100%. It is in the discernment. I'm taking my time. I'm not going to be sheep herded. I'm not going to be forced. I'm not going to be put under anybody's thumb, right? I'm not, right? I'm a good person. This weekend, you guys, let me tell you something about this weekend. I hope I wasn't talking about something else and got trailed off. But if I was, right, it's not a big deal. We're just having a conversation today. Hello, Yak. Nice to meet you. In our lives, like you don't come into the lives too often on the Sunday nights, but, right, I recognize you. Thank you so much for coming in. Oh, Kathy's here too. Awesome. Wow, the whole crew's here tonight. I'm feeling pretty good, right? But I'm feeling it. And I'm looking at, like, why isn't my life falling apart? And then I think to myself, like when I just came into my life and I was thinking, it's all those little things that I'm falling behind in. Like a snowball coming down the hill. So nothing big going on in my lives. I'm looking out there. I'm talking to people. People are talking to me. I don't know anybody who isn't in the mix or knows somebody who's in the mix, which drags you into the mix, if not in just that, right? That natural being that you are, and letting somebody cry on your shoulder or beef off to get it out of their system. But it's going around and I feel it. But then again, right? I don't feel it because my life in this moment is okay. I have everything I need, right? I'm falling apart in little pieces, little teeny weeny things that in the end are not so important. If I don't get my laundry done this weekend, will it be a big deal? No, because I got a whole bunch of clothes, right? If I have to, I can keep my clothes clean for a couple of days and make what I have last. But I have a ton of clothes, so getting the laundry done is not a priority. But there were things that I promised myself, right? I bought a dresser, you guys. I'm buckling down. I do this every time I go on a diet. I binge eat, right? Because I know the diet's coming, so I won't be able to have ice cream anymore. So let's eat all the ice cream. Let's go to the bakery section and get all those treats because you're starting your diet on Monday. Don't forget, Cindy, right? 80% of the time, you don't start the diet on Monday, right? But you eat like you. That's what's going to happen, right? Just silly me. And that's what I do. I overextend myself and I think, oh my goodness, right? I gotta get this video done. And then I sit here and I get some amazing content come across my path that it's just like a teaser to me, like Cindy, right? Right? If you don't get to these chores, guess what you get to learn right now? Guess what you get to vicariously experience through somebody else's story, right? Because that's the idea, is to get to know each other, right? And we did this online, 10-year anniversary, Kathy. I was telling everybody, and Melva, everybody. I was telling everybody that 7:30 Central on Wednesday. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to go live possibly If I can't find proper video and get that video edited, I'm going to get a video edited no matter what. It might not be on Wednesday, but I'm going to be doing something Wednesday at 7:30. Watch for it, whether it's a video, if I'm going to go live, if I maybe go into my podcast and make it a part of the podcast and kind of pull everybody into it, because I think it would serve What's My Good Cheer also, because they're doing the mindset, they're doing the goal setting over there, and it would be really good. We need it right now. Like I said, I'm feeling it out there. I don't know if anybody else is feeling. I'm sure Nancy is feeling it, right? Nancy felt it before any one of us, but mine isn't a Trump issue, right? Mine isn't. That's Nancy's struggle, right? My only struggle is, oh my goodness, I can't get the laundry done. I'm having trouble with my getting my video out of my hard drive. I'm overspending because I know I'm buckling down. Why am I buckling down? Because I'm saving for my car, right? And I say, gotta save, Cindy. Don't spend, don't spend. And I have a grocery gift card. Twice I went to the grocery store. I forgot I had the gift card and I used money out of my bank account. It doesn't matter because groceries will have to be bought when groceries have to be bought. But if I had the money in the on the card, then I probably spend more money. That's in my, the money would get spent no matter what. But I'm really intending on buckling down. I have to pick up a few groceries. I need meat, fruit, vegetables. I need a bottle of calcium because I'm running low on that. I'm thinking it has been an issue for me that right? I'm very spurty. Like I'll take my vitamins all the time, but I'm very spurty with the magnesium. And so, right? And it's not just for a few days. I have to consistently make sure that I'm taking that magnesium because I'm waking up now and I'm feeling a whole lot better, right? Because of it. And it's only been a couple of days. So I think I really, really needed the magnesium, that I was probably pretty depleted in my magnesium. But I'm trying to take, look at, I got good fluids, you guys. Well, not necessarily. You guys remember what I said were the main ingredients. That's probably not real fruit juice because they're calling it fruit beverage. Sunripe, because I don't want to say sunripe if it's not sunripe. Yeah, but mango cranberry, so delicious. 10 calories, big full glass, 10 calories. It's amazing and it's delicious. And it's a start. Fruits and vegetables, and got a little tang to it too. Okay, let me come into the comments here for a minute. Yeah, so I got see, I'm all over the place. So I got the GPS, and it's a good quality one because it is Garmin, and those Garmins are expensive. And to be able to have a GPS, I was going to say to go caving. Uh, I am interested in trying out possibly a new hobby, right? Because I'm out in the bush anyway. I see those rock features all the time. I know I'm a little bit bigger, but I don't have to be a skinny mini and do those, right? Like the true adventure ones. I would just like to go into a cave, to walk into a cave. It would be amazing if I saw a few cave crystals. That would be like icing on the cake. But just to have that experience, I've been thinking about it. I watch a couple of cavers. They call them cavers. They're guys that go down on ropes into these caves, and these caves are like football stadiums, and sometimes they take up the entire space underneath a town or underneath a house or something. People don't know. And then when you go down, there are actually lakes down there and rivers down there, and the ceilings got crystals hanging from them, and all kinds of crystals, not just one, like 50, 60 different types of crystals. And it's like fairyland down there. One of the videos I watched yesterday, they were saying you could hold a rave down here and nobody would even know, right? But they'd have to go through water in order to get to the rave room. But yeah, I said, yeah, no kidding, for sure, right? But that would be neat to try caving once. Okay, let's come up into the comments here. You want to remind it. Always moving forward, Nancy, no matter what. Right? You got your train sets, you got your newborns. Just keep going, Nancy. Just keep moving forward. Just try to put those smiles on other people's faces and put that smile on your face, right? And then it'll kind of balance out for when you have to tear a new one into a politician or something for not taking care of, right, your rights the way they should, right? Here I am letting, and Melvin would be right in there with you, I'm assuming, right? Melvin comes in here, he loves politics, and he's got his own opinions too when it comes to those politics. But you know, when it affects you, right? And Nancy has serious handicaps, and you know, she, right, who's gonna put a roof over Nancy's head, right? Right? You're going to put Nancy to work? Wow, I guess she could be an entrepreneur. She's tried a few times, haven't you? I remember when you were doing the train cars, Nancy. You remember when you were doing the fake coal? Was that what you were doing? The fake coal for your train cars? Yeah. Oh, right, right, Kathy, 100%. We got to be excited into moving into the new year. Things are changing positively, right? But sometimes, like I used to say it all the time, sometimes you got to make a mess to clean a mess. I'm not somebody who keeps things tidy all the time. I bought a Rubbermaid container for all my work pants, all my nice pants. I've got nowheres and it's all jumbled on my sock containers and stuffed in with my hoodies. And when I'm getting ready for work, I'd like to look at my closet and be able to pick my outfit. But I can't because it's all jumbled together and I can't see things properly, right? So I thought if I bought a big Rubbermaid container and I washed it and it's all ready to go, I'm gonna fill it up with all my work pants, and that's gonna free up a lot of space in my closet. That will make me feel good, right? That's that one little thing that I can get off my plate. And of course, I will do my laundry. I was like, I don't have to do my laundry, but I will, and I'll feel good about getting that done. And I got my dishes done. I got that done, and I'll get the groceries done, and that will be right. And it's all gonna make me feel good. And then I'll say, it's all done, Cindy. Wow, it's Monday, right? Or it's Tuesday. Get to work on that video now. It's all done. You got everything you need. Just sit down, right? Just cup of coffee, make yourself a cup of coffee, drink your mango juice, and just work on that video. You can do it. And I'm going to be doing that all day. You can do it, Cindy. You can do it. What? I can't do it. I can't find anything. Oh my goodness, what am I going to do? Keep going, Cindy. And I'll just keep doing that. And I'll give myself that entire day, right? I'll give myself all Tuesday. And if I think I'm almost close, right? By 7:30 at night, the next night is when we're going to do our live. I'll have something put together. No matter what, it's going to be a celebration. It's going to be story time for sure, but it's going to be a celebration. And hopefully, in that light that I want to spread, right? That I want to give back, right? That you guys show up for a little bit of that. And if you don't show up when I'm doing the live, you know that live I will just leave in replay and you guys can come in on your own time and come in and watch it. Just leave a comment down there, give me the thumbs up and let me know that you thought it was okay, or don't give me the thumbs up. Or give me the thumbs up and say, I'm here, right? I made it in, even if I didn't stay, right? I never want to force anybody into being in my lives. And I think working that way, I truly found my crew. One of these, oh, you subscribe to me and I'll subscribe to you. I don't do that. I'm not heavy in giving comments and boosting people's egos online. And some people, they think that's rude that I don't do that. But I'm coming in and I'm watching the content. I'm giving the thumbs up if I really like the content. And if I really really like the content, then I'll give a extra thumbs up in the comments. And that's pretty much what I do. And then I'm on to the next lesson, right? I'm not socializing, right? What's my good cheer is the mindset, right? This one here, Chatters Live, this is where I come in and just shine, right? Just in my appreciation that I have a little bit of company in what I'm doing, and that I've gone through so many changes, you guys, so many. And I think I'm in the midst of another big one, right? This is where they say that it gets tough, and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, this is about to get tough right here, right? Because it's the way that I'm supposed to move, and if I don't move that way, what's the consequences in not moving that way? What will transpire in my life or in the lives or in the people that I want to touch, right? If I just kind of laid back and let it slide, right? I don't think too much about that. Right now is in that conversation. That's the first time that it's come to my mind. So definitely tomorrow I'll come in and watch my live again and see how I react when I say that, right? Because I want to make sure that I'm comfortable and I'm secure, right? In my understandings, because I don't want to put stuff out there that isn't going to, right? Isn't going to serve anybody. But this Sunday night, because I'm always serving. You guys know I'm always serving. This Sunday night is about my appreciation, and it always has been. I've never meant it to be anything else except just to come in and keep company, and it is my intent that everybody's week is gone good. And if it hasn't, then Sunday night hanging out with me, is this a good start to the week coming up, right? We all can have good intent, and it can be. So I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to ride the waves. I think we are being called to just kind of, in the moment, what we're in, to take it for what it is, right? Appreciate what we can appreciate who we can appreciate, right? And spending a little bit of time with my sister, and then spending time with strangers, right? And I get that. I'm grateful, not lots of people, right? Because I'm naturally, if you guys know me, I spend all my time at home. I don't surround myself with a lot of friends physically. My friends are online. My friends are online. And my friends are, right, are those other parts of me that got their own thing that they want to do. But, right? And I get it when people say that, well, that's a conversation for what's my good cheer. It's not a conversation for Chatters Live. I don't need you hanging in that, but I don't think that anybody will kind of mind too much, because again, I want to be secure in what I want to bring to the table. And when I bring it to the table, and maybe again I'll come into my live tomorrow and say, "Oh, Sydney, that was a perfect opportunity. You what did you puttered out? You puttered out again. Is that a procrastination?" Right, and I do the best of myself to say, "Hey, I'm just riding the waves right now, right? I'm just going to play things for the moment, and I'm not going to make myself feel bad, right? And if I need to procrastinate, then I need to procrastinate. And that procrastination isn't laziness. It's being stalled. It's right. It's that word that I was just talking about being, well, they call it, well, it doesn't need to be on here either, right? You can see the tiredness from my weekend, and it's also in the anticipation that it's not my weekend, that I'm pulling an extra shift tomorrow. Oh, thank you, Kathy. Oh, it's going to be a party on Wednesday. It's important to me, because this is important to me. I it's really important to me, and I remember making a little joke a long time ago that, oh, I'm going to be like the guitar guy. I don't know if any of you guys remember the guitar guy. I was going to tell the story on New Year's Day when this one, but he went 10 years without a following, and then in his 10 years his little channel kind of blew up, and he had a good following in that. And all he did was every night before he went to bed, he'd come online and he'd play guitar, a song on his guitar, and then he would go to bed. And he did that every day for 10 years, dedicated. Finally, his little channel blew up and he got a lot of air because it was his 10 year and everybody was making little snickers. Look how he never even got to be famous, and look at him. But then other people said, look at him, because he never gave up and finally he actually made it, right? 10 years later. And so he was an example for maybe the entrepreneurs, maybe the people who wanted to be YouTubers, that, look at, it's only been 5 years. You got to practice your craft. You got to get better and better in order to, right, to join the big boys. And after 10 years and him coming in and doing his live show, playing his guitar, making a video maybe, and yeah, I think it was just a video. Live shows weren't then. And he would just post it every single day. And what happened to him? He went viral. And soon after he got viral, somebody hacked and took his channel. He lost his channel. Everybody campaigned for him, and right, because by then he had built a little name of the guy who went 10 years, right, and dedicated his whole life to showing up on YouTube for 10 years. And then he got hacked and he lost his channel, and YouTube couldn't give him his channel back. But luckily, he was still in the midst of that big burst in his brand, that he was able to start a new channel. It wasn't the same, because when you start over, you're starting over. And so you have to trust, by that time, 10 years, that experience was enough. And it just wasn't the idea that he had lasted 10 years, that his talent and his capability on YouTube was enough to keep the channel going. I don't know if he's on YouTube anymore, but I used to joke that, oh my goodness, I'm going to be that person, going to have no subscribers. I'm going to get it to my 10-year anniversary and I'm going to have no followers. Right? I have 3,000 followers here. And yes, that's true that people are here for the outdoor adventures too, and probably more than the mindset. There isn't a lot of people, but I'm not changing that. I'm combining my passions and I'm combining what I can share, because there's lots of times when I can't share the outdoor adventure, right? I guess I probably could in that adapt and conquer. I would go take a walk to the park and we'd have chit chats at the park, and right, I could do it that way. But to hold myself accountable and make sure that I'm doing it, this makes it more likely that I would, and because I'm here, right? And Chatters Live is different because we're a tight crew. We have been together for some of us for almost 10 years, haven't we? And so in that time, we have built these amazing relationships along the way. And, it's pretty incredible that even if I only get 50 people or 100 people watching my videos or watching my lives. Maybe it's only 20 people, right? It doesn't matter. Just imagine having 20 people, right, sitting in a table in front of you, right, listening and keeping you company. As what William would call it, yabbering away. Is that what you call it? Cindy, oh, there's Cindy, yabbering away again, comes in. And then he'll say, "This is my good cheer tonight, Cindy." And then he'll tell me what is good cheer. I just love it when Melvin comes into my other show, What's My Good Cheer? And he starts his conversation by, right, "This is my good cheer, Cindy." And then he tells me the good cheer. It's very sweet when he does it. Yeah. And Moo Cow comes over to, like, Dave, he comes over to that channel too. But I gotta remember the content is different, and not everybody wants the mindset. Not everybody wants to go, right? Some people are comfy, right? Somebody like Lots of people like their lives just the way they are. Yeah. So I can't help myself. When this one is supposed to be light, it just kind of in there anyway, right? But I'm grateful that I have you guys hanging out with me and hanging out with me for so long. I'm flabbergasted. Like, I am very, very surprised considering how much I've pivoted, how much my brand has changed, how much content I have added into my brand, but still staying in that, right? Exploring the inside and the outside. Yeah, it's pretty cool how that worked out for me. And it wasn't my intent, it just worked out for me that way. And it's exactly what I do, right? What you think about and what you do, right? That's where you're moving towards. Okay, come back here. Oh my goodness, you guys are yawning. Um, Nancy says she's just not looking forward to the orange monster. Yeah, I just heard that terminology the other day at work with one of my customers. And I asked her because I heard something online, and I asked her if she knew. And I said, "Is that because he spray tans?" Right? I says, "Is that because he spray tans that you guys call him the orange man?" Right? Sometimes it's that really blonde yellow hair. I know for me, I can't wear any kind of yellow. I look like death rolled over in yellow. Yeah, and my plans, you guys. I'm going to share my plans. I'm only going to have one day. I'm going to be editing video all day, but in telling my story, I'll be thinking about it. So I'll be killing two birds with one stone at the same time, because I have to be in that contemplation and reflection about the past 10 years uh, while I'm making this video. If the video is up, it might not be my very best. I will do a better job at it next time. I will start it like 4 months before it's supposed to go up. But, it is in that process, and it is in that little bit of pushback that sometimes we have to accept that, right? We did the best that we can and just let it go, right? Don't beat ourselves up. Don't feel guilty. Don't feel shame. And then in the end, feel it out, right? If you did that, how do you feel now that that's kind of off your plate? I have to say, I feel pretty good. I came off my Instagram. I used to go live. At the very least, I was always there on Saturdays, but I was pooping out. Like, I was physically pooping out and wearing myself down. And I had to give up a day. And Saturday at work, at work, I give it everything. Sometimes I'm so tired that I'm just sitting in my chair, just waiting to go to bed. And I'm just dozing off and waking up and dozing off. And I know I have a live show to do. And then I wake up and catch a little energy, and then I go, "Okay, Cindy, do your live so you can go live." And that's not the way that I want to come in, because that energy is already depleted. And so I'm coming in to my lives with already depleted energy, and I want to come into my lives with lots of energy, right? Because that's the whole idea, is to kind of spew it out there and see where it hits. Right? Because it can only do good. 100%. There is no ill intent, right? I would know it. I would feel it if it was on my behalf. The very worst that I do is that little bit of, right, you could do it, Cindy, or oh darn, you could have done better than that, or you're procrastinating. And at that point, because how I feel right now, I'm just saying, I don't care, right? I need this rest. I wouldn't take it, right? I hold myself accountable. If I can show up, I show up, and I could show up. But what am I showing up with, right? And so I want to make sure that I'm not just showing up for the sake of showing up, like I did at my work, right? We had this conversation at the Christmas party. I says, my only claim of fame, you guys have heard me say it before, that my only claim to fame is that I have never missed a day of work in my entire life. Not at this job, not at any job. My entire life, I have shown up. If I was sick, I would show up. If I was hurting, I would show up. If I was heartbroken, I would show up, right? I was attached to the income, but more importantly, attached to the income, I was more attached to the action of not getting in trouble, not being yelled at, not to be thought in ill will because I messed things up, or I had to cause somebody issues because they have to rearrange a schedule, or I didn't know my right. I've never called in sick. If I ever called in sick, they wouldn't be able to say anything to me because I've never called in sick in my work, but it has been in my own job. And I was thinking about that. I've done it my entire life. Like I said, I've never missed a day of work. But did I? Right? It was only so I wouldn't get into trouble. It was my hypervigilance. And this is the practice that I'm having, and just saying, screw it. Right? It's not that important. Me enjoying my life, me enjoying lessons, me enjoying the company, me enjoying my lives is what's important, right? That movement is what's important. And that little bit of giving that I can give in my drummer girl kind of, right, persona, character, right? Because I'm a character too, right? I can say that I'm 100% genuine, but I'm in social media too, right? And if I'm genuine in my own way, that's amazing. But there are technicalities, right? Technical stuff, and there is mental stuff, and there is stuff that, right, that sometimes that you'd like to talk about, but then there's Cindy dancing around the subjects, just in the hopes and anticipation, the optimism that somebody's going to get her. And that's okay if you don't get me. If you're hanging out with me, you're hanging out with me. You get a little bit anyway. Little bit, little bit of what you want and a little bit of what you need. That's my intent. Give them a little bit of what you want and a little bit of what you need. I learned that from my Uncle Ted. He was a traveling pastor. His job was to build up the congregations in different churches. And he wasn't particular about the denomination, evangelical, gospel, whatever it was. And he had a school bus, and every Sunday he'd come around the neighborhoods and he'd pick us up and my mom up and pick up all the neighborhood kids and all the cousins, and right. And we'd go to the church and we would build them up, right? Now, what was I going to say about that, about my Uncle Ted? Why did I mention my Uncle Ted? Can you guys kind of give me a head jog on that one? I'm just going to come down. I'm going to timestamp that. We'll leave at William's comment there, and we'll come back down here. If you guys can give me the heads up of what I was, just because I have no idea why I was talking about my Uncle Ted, right? And him building up the congregation. He didn't care about the denominations, right? And yeah, I lost it on that one, right? That's my tiredness. That's my unpreparedness. And that's my trying to do two things at one time, right? And we know that we don't always focus well when we got things all over the place. And that's the danger in taking care of all the little things, right? When you can't take care of the big thing. The plan is to take care of the big thing. I'm working towards it. I'm doing the best that I can, right? Right? And whenever it gets done, whenever it gets presented, that's going to be the perfect time. That was the time that it was meant to happen. And that is the time it ended up happening. There you go. Not worrying about it. This is a funny girl. Okay. So I'm going to just go back up here to William's comment. And where did he live? William. Oh my goodness, you guys have been yapping. Okay, well, I lost it. Let's start at Andrews. I hope you have a great time at the Space Needle, Nancy. Will you be there when the new year starts? Space Needle. Okay, now I gotta need to go backwards. What, she's going at the Space Needle? Yeah, it's beautiful. There, the Seattle Space Needle is amazing. Now then, Chatty, see what I sent you guys? Yeah. Funny. Um, I got so many little things that they ended up being a huge mess around here. That's the idea. It turns into the big problem, doesn't it? So when I look at myself in my life right now, yes, I'm in the mix of it too. I got problems too. I'm trying to edit videos. I'm falling behind in all the little things, right? So when I'm trying to do the big things, I can't even concentrate on the big things because I'm looking at all the little things. I'm looking at my bed covered in clothes because it was the plan to get this stuff done tonight. And now I'm sitting here going, oh, Cindy, after your live show, you're going to make yourself, I don't have to make myself anything because I put the lid on my coffee and it's going to be nice and hot. Let me test. It's going to be nice and hot, like I said. One of my customers bought me this mug for my trip in September. It's my favorite coffee mug. It's actually purple. It doesn't look purple, but that's the lighting on my camera. It is what it is, right? But yeah, I love this coffee mug. Wednesday in the live show, you're going to get a plan. I have rough sketched. I'm going to work on my plan. I'm going to be in my thoughts. I'm going to be in contemplation. I'm going to be editing video and looking at back memories, and I am optimistic something great is going to come out of it. But whatever it is, you guys remember, it was kind of a fly by the seat of your pants kind of situation. And I'm not going to make myself feel bad, but I'm going to make that movement the best that I can any. I'm just admiring my earrings that I matched with my sweater today. I sure do love orange. It's my favorite color, especially, well, it's not my favorite color. The mustard is my favorite color, but orange is definitely my second favorite color. I've been loving the sweaters, and I have a homemade sweater. And today I decided to pay because one of the ladies, she's coming back to work this week, but she's been off for months now, right? Because she got in a no, she had to take some time off, so she's coming back to work. So she had her staff charges there, all this, right? Not paid for or anything. So I decided I was going to pay for her staff charges as a little welcome home gift. Her coming back to work, right? So, and again, I have no idea why I was telling you that either. Oh my goodness. I have no idea. I am a bubble brain. I am a chatty bubble brain tonight, and that is in my exhaustion. And that's why I really appreciate having Saturdays off now, because Saturdays is the perfect day for me to just come home from work, because I only have one more push on the norm Sundays, and Sundays I don't start work till noon, so it's a one big push, get the place cleaned and restocked and ready to go. But again, I volunteered to work tomorrow, so I have one more shift to do, and then I'm not gonna crack the whip on myself. I'm not. I refuse to crack the whip on myself, right? If I feel like doing, it'll get done. I know I feel good through the accomplishments. I'm going to get all those little things done. Melvin, you're going to get all those little things done that you said you were going to get done, right? Even if it's just hanging a nail on the wall so you can hang up a picture and that you've been telling yourself you're going to get that done. If it's to fix the dripping tap in the bathroom, whatever it is you guys have been procrastinating on, moving doesn't mean getting the this is life. Movement is just life. It's when people just sit in their life. They sit there, and I used to talk about hope, how terrible people would just sit there and just hope the miracle would come to them, right? You have to meet it. And it doesn't mean you have to meet it in the middle. It doesn't mean to meet it at the finish line, right? Just until those branches meet up together. Yeah, it's it's a strange world out there. It tells you, right? And in that strangeness, it's part of the problem is I feel a part of that strangeness out there. But I tell you, it's going to be the norm. I tell you, it is going to be crazy town, and we need to be, right, taking care of ourselves, getting to know ourselves a little bit, be our own best friends, our own supporters, our own lifesavers, right? Own confidence, right? Right? To recognize in that discernment I was talking about when I first came in live today, that in that discernment that we go slow, right? We don't make rash decisions. We don't speak out of turn. I had a couple of those lessons where I just kind of, they got a reaction. They threw me a trigger. They knew they were throwing me the trigger, and I bit that fishing line, and I fell right into it, thinking like I'm Superwoman, thinking I've got all the lessons down packed, and right, we're good to go. And right, couple of times I have to put people straight, but I looked at them, and because they said something not nice, oh, you're a mean person, or you don't know nothing about customer service, and I'm thinking, yeah, but these are policies put in place not by me, right? I'm only an extension of the manager. I'm only an extension of what the head office wants, right? And so maybe you need to be saying mean things to them instead of saying mean things to me. Right? And sometimes it's not that person. Sometimes it's the four shoplifters that came before her the half an hour before. Maybe it's falling behind and making sure everybody's getting their breaks. Maybe the sales are not high. Maybe somebody didn't come. Maybe it's something, and it usually is. And then it's that one person that you lose it on. And I didn't really lose them. I just said it straight, right? But it still put him in the place. And I'm not that person. I don't like to be that person, right? But if you bite, I'm going to have to divvy a lesson, because no longer am I going to let people take pieces out of me, right? To mistreat me or be unkind or purposely misdirect me or feed into that guilt and shame that I picked up somewheres along the line, and it serves. So, right? Give that a little twist, a little serving, and get that knife in there and twist that. I'm not falling for that stuff anymore, right? I say with confidence. Yes, that tool belt. But I've been putting it into practice. And yes, I did fall into the trap when I was purposely triggered. Yes, that happened. But cause and effect. I came back. I got triggered. I came back, but I was coming back in an informative kind of manner. I was kind of stating the facts, right? I am a nice person, right? Why are you saying that to me? I am a nice person. These aren't my policies. These aren't my rules. You got a problem with that? Then you need to be speaking with the manager or the head office, dear. And that's the end of that conversation. The new me. I'm practicing, you guys. I'm practicing, right? And I'm paying attention when I practice to see how it plays out because I see, right, that it doesn't go too far when it's called upon. It's just too many people out there are getting away with stuff. Nobody's turning the other cheek. Everybody's just kind of sitting there watching the show, right? I'm in a mood. I'm not even in a mood. I'm perfectly good with that. That's just the way it's flowing tonight, right? And I'm not even sure if it's content that I've taken in or it's just in the experiences in my life right now, right? Like I said, I've been feeling it. And even in my own life, those interactions and those relationships that I have are being stretched, right? And not being in a bad way, but just stretched in accommodating, right? When you're trying to accommodate yourself. And it makes me wonder, am I purposely being led into that state of frenzy? Because that's all that it is. It's just frenzy, busy, busy, right? You got to do this. You got to feel guilty for this. And that's just keeping you in the negative. And if you're just stuck in the negative, right? Why? How did you get there? What was said? What was done? How were you triggered? Who triggered you? This is discernment to think slowly, right? Because we can make some big boo boos, like marrying the wrong man, right? I didn't marry the wrong man. I married the perfect man for that time in my life, right? Every person that I attached that way, right? With that caring, that that never ever changed, right? Yeah. 10 years, you guys. I love you all. We're going to see you on Wednesday night. Let's call it a night of this yibber yabber, as Melvin would call it, or this chatter that Melvin would call it, because his chatter is live. I get it. But he calls me yappy on the other show. And tonight I was a little bit yappy, and I was a little bit in different places. But I think those different places need to be accessed and delved into a little bit deeper. I think that's the direction. As I know that's the direction. And in my tenderness and in my little bit of dance and right around the subjects and reading in between the lines, right? Got to be proud of the effort. I do. And I hope somebody gets something out of that. Okay, you guys. That's it for tonight. I will be back. I won't be back on New Year's Eve. I'm taking New Year's Eve. I'm right after tonight. I'll be back tomorrow to Christmas Eve. I will take that off on Christmas Eve for myself, and then Wednesday will come in and just come in just to see what Cindy came up with. I don't know what it's going to look like. I have no clue, but I'm going to get to work as soon as I get up in the morning on Tuesday, and I'll try not to procrastinate. And at the same time, I'll get those things that have to get done because I'm here anyway, done, and it'll feel like they got done all by themselves, right? That's the optimism in me. Okay, you guys, you have a great night. I will see you on Wednesday. If not, I'll be back next Sunday, right, for Chatters Live. And yeah, looks like we got a little something going on, covering all the bases. You guys have a great night, and we'll see you on Wednesday. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.